The Eternal War, as it was known across 17 galaxies, had raged for 700,000 years. The Zitharon Collective and the Morphean Dominion had been locked in a conflict so ancient that neither side remembered why it had started. Trillions had died. Entire star systems had been reduced to cosmic dust. Peace was a word that existed only in archaeological records. Commander Ashley Chen stood on the bridge of the USS Stardestroyer, humanity's first deep space warship, her dark eyes scanning the holographic display before her. The ship had been in transit for 3 months, responding to a distress signal from a remote sector where both warring factions had suddenly turned their attention toward a neutral trading hub. "Captain," called out Lieutenant Alex Morrison from the tactical station, his fingers dancing across the illuminated console. "We're approaching the conflict zone. Sensors are picking up." "Jesus Christ." His voice trailed off as the data flooded his screens. Ashley moved swiftly to his station. What she saw made her breath catch. Thousands of warships from both sides, locked in a massive engagement that stretched across millions of kilometers. Energy weapons carved through the darkness like lightning storms. Ships exploded in brilliant flashes, adding to the debris field that had accumulated over millennia. "How long has this particular battle been going on?" Ashley asked, according to the timestamps from the distress beacon. 473 years, Alex replied, his voice hollow with disbelief. Ashley's jaw tightened. Humanity had only achieved faster-than-light travel 40 years ago. These civilizations had been fighting in this single battle longer than human recorded history. "Hail them, both sides," she ordered. The communications officer worked quickly, then shook her head. "No response, Commander. They're not even acknowledging our presence." "Show them what we can do," Ashley said quietly. "Target designation, Alpha. That asteroid cluster between the two fleets." Alex's fingers flew across his console. "Targeting solution locked. Awaiting your order, Commander. Fire." The USS Stardestroyer had been built with technology that made humanity's first nuclear weapons look like firecrackers. Human innovation, born from a species that had climbed from caves to stars in mere millennia, had created something the galaxy had never seen: a quantum displacement cannon. The weapon didn't fire projectiles or energy beams. It simply removed matter from existence, creating a controlled vacuum collapse that could disintegrate anything in its path. The asteroid cluster, roughly the size of Earth's moon, vanished. Not exploded, not scattered, simply ceased to exist, leaving behind only a faint shimmer of Hawking radiation. For the first time in 473 years, both fleets stopped firing. "Now we have their attention," Ashley murmured. "Broadcast on all frequencies, all languages in our database. Alex, you're with me." The holographic transmission showed Ashley and Alex standing side by side on the bridge, the massive view screen behind them displaying the frozen battlefield. "This is Commander Ashley Chen of the United Earthship Stardestroyer," she began, her voice carrying the weight of authority. "We are representatives of humanity, a species new to this region of space. We received a distress call from innocent civilians caught in your crossfire." Alex stepped forward, his tactical training evident in his posture. "We have analyzed your conflict. 700,000 years of war. 73% of your original territories destroyed. Your populations reduced to 14% of their pre-war numbers. Your economies in ruins. Your cultures defined entirely by conflict." Ashley continued. "We're going to ask you 3 questions. First, do you remember why this war started?" Silence stretched across the void. Finally, a response crackled through from the Zitharon flagship, translated by the Stardestroyer's AI. "The ancient texts speak of a territorial dispute. The details have been lost." The Morphean commander's reply followed. "Our ancestors were wronged. The specifics are unclear." "Second question," Ashley said, her voice harder now. "How many generations have lived and died knowing only war?" Another pause. The Zitharon responded, "All of them. For 700,000 years." "Third question," Alex interjected, pulling up holographic data streams. "What could your civilizations achieve if you redirected your military resources toward rebuilding, exploration, science, and art?" The mathematical projections filled the space between the fleets, simulations of flourishing worlds, advancing technology, expanding territories through colonization rather than conquest, cultural renaissance, population growth. Ashley let the images speak for themselves before delivering her final message. You have fought for so long that you've forgotten how to do anything else. Your war has become your identity. But we've seen this before. Humanity nearly destroyed itself multiple times before we learned a simple truth. Survival requires cooperation, not endless conflict. She leaned forward, her image towering over the battlefield. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to cease fire immediately. You're going to establish a neutral zone. You're going to begin peace negotiations. And if you refuse, Alex brought up the tactical display showing targeting solutions on every capital ship in both fleets. The weapon that erased that asteroid cluster? We have enough power to fire 63 more times before recharge. That's enough to eliminate every warship currently in this sector. But we don't want to do that, Ashley added, her voice softening slightly. Because despite your 700,000 years of violence, we believe you're capable of more. We've been watching your cultural broadcasts, your historical archives. Both of your civilizations were once magnificent. Artists, philosophers, explorers. That's still in you. You've just forgotten. She straightened, her final words carrying across the void with absolute certainty. You have 50 minutes to begin ceasefire protocols and establish communication channels for peace negotiations. After that, we will begin systematically disabling your war-making capabilities. We won't destroy you. We'll just take away your ability to keep killing each other until you remember how to be civilized. The channel closed. For 37 minutes, nothing happened. Sensors showed frantic communications between ships within each fleet. Ashley and Alex stood silent on the bridge, knowing they'd just threatened civilizations that had billions of years of collective history. Then, at minute 38, the Zitharon fleet powered down their weapons. 4 minutes later, the Morphean Dominion followed. At minute 47, both sides transmitted formal requests for humanity to mediate peace negotiations. Alex let out a breath he didn't know he'd been holding. 50 minutes. We ended a 700,000-year war in less than an hour. Ashley nodded slowly, watching as the fleets began to withdraw to neutral positions. That's the thing about humanity, Alex. We're young, aggressive, and we've made every mistake imaginable. But we learned from them. We know what endless war costs because we've been there. And sometimes the galaxy needs someone crazy enough to stand between two juggernauts and tell them to sit down and talk. HFY, Alex asked with a slight smile, using the old Earth phrase that had become humanity's unofficial motto among the stars. Ashley smiled back. Humanity, fuck yeah. The USS Stardestroyer remained in orbit as both ancient civilizations began the long, uncertain process of remembering how to coexist. And humanity, the newest voice in the galactic community, had just announced its presence in a way no one would forget. Sometimes the young teach the old. Sometimes the small stand up to the mighty, and sometimes it takes an outsider to show you that the war you're fighting isn't worth the price you're paying. That was humanity's gift to the galaxy, not superior weapons or advanced technology, but perspective born from hard-won wisdom. The eternal war was over, and it had taken 2 humans less than an hour to end it.